In a world where betrayal could end your dreams, one man's faith turned his prison into a pathway to power. This is the story of Joseph, a young Hebrew who went from a slave in Egypt to becoming one of the most powerful men in the ancient world. A story of pain, patience, and divine purpose. Stay till the end to discover how Joseph's darkest moments became the very key to his destiny. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring Bible stories. Joseph was just 17, young, innocent, and full of dreams. He was Jacob's favorite son, marked by the colorful robe his father gave him, a symbol of love that stirred deep jealousy among his brothers. One night, Joseph had two dreams, both showing his brothers bowing before him. When he shared these dreams, their envy turned into hatred. They mocked him, saying, "Here comes the dreamer." But Joseph had no idea that his dreams would soon cost him everything. One day, while visiting his brothers in the fields, they plotted against him. Stripped of his robe, thrown into a pit, and sold to traders for 20 pieces of silver, Joseph was carried away to Egypt, a land of foreign gods and unfamiliar tongues. In Egypt, Joseph was sold to Potiphar, captain of Pharaoh's guard. Yet even in slavery, something divine was upon him. Everything Joseph touched began to prosper. Potiphar saw it and made Joseph the overseer of his entire household. But peace doesn't last long for those destined for greatness. Potiphar's wife noticed Joseph's charm and strength. Day after day she tempted him, but Joseph refused, saying, "How could I do such a wicked thing and sin against God?" Her rejection turned into rage. One day, she grabbed his cloak as he fled from her advances, and she screamed, accusing him of attacking her. In an instant, Joseph's honor was shattered. Potiphar, furious and betrayed, cast him into the dark dungeons of Egypt. In that cold, damp prison, Joseph could have lost hope, but instead of anger, he chose faith. The Lord was with him, even behind bars. Soon, the prison warden noticed Joseph's wisdom and integrity, placing all other prisoners under his care. Among them were two of Pharaoh's servants, the cupbearer and the baker, both troubled by strange dreams. Joseph listened, prayed, and interpreted their dreams. The cupbearer would be restored. The baker would be executed. Days later, it happened exactly as Joseph said. Before the cupbearer left, Joseph pleaded, "Remember me when you stand before Pharaoh." But the man forgot, and Joseph remained in prison 2 long, silent years, waiting, wondering, and trusting God's timing. Then one night, Pharaoh himself was troubled by mysterious dreams. 7 fat cows devoured by 7 thin ones. 7 full ears of grain swallowed by 7 withered ones. None of Egypt's magicians could explain it. That's when the cupbearer finally remembered Joseph. He told Pharaoh, "There is a man in prison who can interpret dreams." Joseph was hurriedly brought before the throne, shaved, cleaned, and clothed in royal garments. Pharaoh said, "I have heard you can interpret dreams." Joseph replied humbly, "It is not I, but God who gives the answer." Joseph explained Pharaoh's dreams with divine clarity. 7 years of plenty would be followed by 7 years of famine. He advised Pharaoh to store grain during the good years to save Egypt during the famine. Pharaoh was astonished. He turned to his officials and said, "Can we find anyone like this man, one in whom is the Spirit of God?" And right there, Joseph's life changed forever. Pharaoh placed his own ring on Joseph's hand, clothed him in fine linen, and declared him second in command over all Egypt. The dreamer had become the ruler. The prisoner had become the prime minister. When famine struck, the whole world came to Egypt for food, including Joseph's brothers, who bowed before him, just as his dreams had foretold. They didn't recognize him, but Joseph knew them instantly. After testing their hearts and seeing their repentance, Joseph could no longer hold back his tears. He cried, "I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into Egypt." But instead of revenge, he offered forgiveness. He told them, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, to save many lives." It was a moment of redemption, not revenge, of healing, not hate. Joseph's story reminds us that even in the darkest places, the pit, the prison, or betrayal, God is still working behind the scenes. What others meant for harm, he can use for good. From prison to palace, Joseph's journey is proof that destiny delayed is not destiny denied. Subscribe for more powerful Bible stories that inspire faith, hope, and strength. Bible stories, Joseph, faith, God's plan, redemption,